Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel, and today I will be beating Atlas with fists only. Unfortunately, I actually lost the footage to my character creation because it was in a stream that I spent about, I think I only spent about 10 minutes in. And as you can see, all of the streams were really laggy, especially the last one, and I apologize for that. I didn't think that they would be this laggy. I honestly, especially the third one was almost unwatchable. I am shocked nobody said anything. But, yeah, no. Anyway, fists only. I can only do damage with fists, but I am able to use weapons for mobility purposes because I do some skips to actually save some time. Because otherwise, trying to punch my way through, Crescent Grove would not be very fun. So for the most part, though, I'll try to do everything that I can, but a lot of the things would just take too long because fists do not scale with anything at all. And so you are getting around 2 to 4 damage the entire game. So that's about it, and that's it for the first quest as well. Moving on. After completing that first quest, I moved into the first Catacombs because I really thought they couldn't be that hard because they're meant for, it's meant to be the first thing you do in the game. But, and it really wasn't that bad. But, some of the Geists in there were definitely very tanky. Also, the mini Geists were pretty tanky. So it definitely took a hot minute to kill these guys. Once again, you can see I'm doing around 2 to 3 damage. And I mean, you can see a good chunk of damage coming off that health bar, but it's around 10 hits. And so I was already not feeling great about this. I wasn't even sure if I'd be able to kill Colossus under these conditions. Now, here's to show you the Geist problem. I mean, once again, the mini guys were kind of hard to deal with, but not too bad at all. But the Geists in this, because these are the hardest enemies you face in this dungeon, they were pretty tanky. Once again, nothing bad yet. But around 20 hits in the first dungeon to kill a guy, it definitely wasn't looking great. After about another 5 to 10 minutes of clearing the Catacombs, I finally made it to the sigil. All I had to do was just clear these guys out. And once again, 2 to 4 damage is not bad, but that is what I'm going to be dealing with the whole game. And so this whole time, I was leveling up strength thinking it was actually going to do something, but it just ended up not doing anything, and that really made me scared. After clearing those dungeons a little more, I went and turned in the quest and moved on to the slime-like part, which was not bad at all, especially because they're a lot easier to parry, in my opinion, than a lot of the other enemies. I mean, none of the enemies are particularly hard to parry, except, maybe the Maws, and, that's really it, because those guys just, attack really fast. But, yeah, it wasn't really too bad killing 15 of these guys, but it did take a little bit, but not very long. After turning in the quests again, I made it back to the area. Luckily, they have a teleport that brings you back to your last location, so I didn't have to run all the way back. Even though I really think there should be a fast travel point in this area, but that's just me. Anyway, though. Now in this new update, I think it was 1.6, which was the patch a couple days ago. Now you only need to kill 4 of these Slimeleks to actually activate the boss, which definitely speeds it up by a considerable amount, and so that was pretty nice to see. But moving on to the actual boss, it wasn't very hard, especially the extra little slimes. Those weren't too hard to deal with, especially because they cluster up. But the damage was not awful, but it wasn't great either. I mean, that's pretty bad damage, really. Let's be real. This is where the damage really started to fall off, was around this boss. Once again, it was completely doable, and I mean, this whole run is completely doable. It's just It's just not very fun, because you're just repeatedly punching things, doing about 2 to 3 damage the whole time. After a little longer of just swinging at the boss, I was finally able to take them down. It wasn't very hard. It only took about 5 minutes, which was a little faster than I was expecting, but it gets worse. Now, I decided to farm to get to level 10 before I decided to try to take on any catacombs, because what I thought was I would be able, as a fighter, to get some combative abilities I could use with my bare hands to do some solid damage. Unfortunately, every single damage attack other than deflect, which requires you to be level 14, requires you to use a shield or a melee weapon to execute the attack. So it wasn't great, for sure. It was not ideal. I really thought I would have more to work with going into the dungeon, because what I was afraid of is that the boss would take too long and I would just get jumped repeatedly by the ads that periodically spawn throughout the fight. The only ability I got was Rage, because that was the only ability that I could actually use, but it doesn't really do anything. I think it's supposed to increase damage, but because the fists have no scaling, it can't properly up your damage. Because I imagine there's some formula that goes down behind the scenes to scale your damage, given your stats and everything. But they just didn't do that with the fists, which I'm not shocked. I mean, this is a fairly new game. They probably didn't think anybody would be stupid enough to try to punch everything to death. But I am stupid enough, so unfortunately, I had to. I didn't really have much to use. And as you can see here, it takes a lot longer to kill these guys. And this isn't even the level 3 Catacombs or the Crescent Grove. We are at this is supposed to be for level 6 to 12, and I'm about 10. So I'm pretty over leveled for this, I'd say. I'm on the higher end of what you should be leveled for this. But I mean, look at this. I can't even really compete here. I mean, I guess I can, but it just takes forever. And then I die there and they all regen anyway. But it's not awful. Once again, this is doable. It's just, at this point, I'm basically tickling the enemies. Now, I kept pushing, and I got to the end of the Catacombs because I wanted to try to take on the boss. And this is, the main reason I bothered waiting, getting to level 10 beforehand, was so I could easily fight this boss. Now, it wasn't bad. As you can see, I am getting, I'm seeing his health bar drop. It's nothing bad. It's just this takes a while, and then second phase, he's teleporting a lot more often, and there's ads chasing you, so I can't always be under him. So this was the fastest I would be able to do damage to this guy, was during the first phase, where he would just sit still for most of the time and not do anything too crazy. But it still was not very good. After fighting for another 10-15 minutes running in circles and avoiding ads, I get killed as I'm finally clearing them out. I use my only tier because it's I might as well, and in the microsecond I'm dead, this guy regens about half of the health I took off of him, and that was really demoralizing right there. And then I started to think, this guy isn't actually required. I can kill Colossus, I can get to Crescent Grove without killing this guy. And so what I'm thinking is, if I die here, which I do, spoiler alert, I die here. If I die here, I can just leave. And so that's what I end up doing after I do die. After that whole fiasco, I move on to the Crescent Keep area, where I do that little skip where I don't need to fight so many enemies to get to the west one. And then I also use basically the same movement to skip to the east one, which I will show now. Now, just to explain what exactly I am doing, this is kind of similar to what I did in my first run, it's kind of similar to what I did in my rock-only run, But because I'm a fighter, I'm not able to have the triple jump, so I can't do it the way I did it the first time. And so, as you can see there, it's a really weird movement. You have to jump, you can't, there's a little ledge that you can't hit your head on. You have to get the full height, then dash into the wall to get a little extra height, jump, and then do a aerial, like, spear attack. But I think any sort of attack works there, just to give you a little extra height to get you up. And then you do the exact same route I did this, like, last time, as you can, like, watch it here. After that, like, whole jumping part, it's really not too complicated. You just kind of have to know where to go. And then I also did this previously to unlock the portal over there, but I messed up the jump on the way back to the sigil, and so I had to do it twice just to get to the sigil. So, if you want to get to the portal, you just have to jump to that tree stump, kind of hit the portal on the back, and then you can dash back to the sigil. And after that, this becomes my life for the next, like, couple hours, because I basically farm these guys till I'm about level 14-ish. I think I got to level 16. It's 16. I got to level, like, 16 by just farming these guys. And I mean, it didn't take very long, but it took kind of long, because as you can see here, if they, number one, if their attacks are staggered like this, it's almost impossible for me to get a hit off, and when I do, I'm punching, so I do about 2 to 4 damage, and so it isn't great. And this is where I knew, after doing all of this, I knew for a fact I was not going to clear out Crescent Grove. Not doing 2 to 4 damage a swing. That was not happening. I don't care if you guys say the run's invalid. I mean, you can do this for yourself if you really want. If you want a valid run, just do it yourself. Here is the one and only room I cleared at Crescent Grove. And honestly, this is the only footage I'm going to show from the third stream. As you can see, it's completely unwatchable. This is what the Colossus fight looked like, and so after watching this back, I knew I couldn't do anything about it. So I was like, I just need to go kill Colossus again. But as you can see, it takes me a while to kill these mushrooms. Like, it's not like it is not very good. But I mean, you can't really tell what I'm doing. I could just be whipping out a weapon, killing them real quick, and then as soon as it cuts back in, I pull out my fist. But no, I just punched him to death, but it took a while. And this is also why I had to redo the Colossus fight. Now, I'm just going to put this whole thing in 2 times speed. That's the skip right there. You need, like, Polar Mastery level 2 for the jump, and then you kind of just jump up. There's a lot of different, like, other skips. And then I had Lethal Strike because it was required to do that skip, but I didn't use it for any damage because I can't use it with my fists. I think I unequipped this spear at some point because having the spear in my secondary, if I accidentally hit 4, I think it auto-swaps, and so I decided just to, or maybe I don't. But yeah, no, as you can see, the damage isn't as bad as I thought it would be. And then I also the first time around, I couldn't parry him properly. I had to use Sturdy to parry him. And then I also had Deflect at this point, which means I would get a certain amount of damage per, like, parry. And now that I could, like, legitimately parry this guy, it definitely was a lot easier because Deflect was putting in work. And also another thing, before you say Deflect isn't allowed because it is in my fists, I'm deflecting with my fists. I mean, I do have a shield out, but it doesn't count. I don't care. But yeah, it honestly, the first phase is really not that bad because he has a grand total of 3 attacks he can throw at you, and they're not too hard to parry. You just kind of have to know them. But yeah, no, it was not too bad for sure. Second phase is where I was really scared of, like, the first time around, and I wasn't scared this time because I developed a strategy where I run for dear life until I have Sturdy, and then I use the damage I have, I use basically the invulnerability of Sturdy to do as much damage to one of the extras as I can, and then I run for dear life, as you can see. This is why it's in 2 times speed, because it would take forever otherwise. because it's just, and then here I was playing a lot more greedy for sure than last time. That's probably why this fight was just generally faster, because I was trying to get as much extra damage as possible, because I was pretty mad that I was redoing this, because I had a download that I just forgot about, and it somehow didn't crash my stream. And also, I didn't get any warnings that my stream was gonna crash at all. Because usually OBS will like give you a notification like, hey, your stream isn't great, but I didn't get that. But maybe I should have just paid better attention. It probably was there. I just wasn't looking hard enough. As you can see there, this second phase isn't great because I'm trying to stay away from the Colossus. I'm trying to get out of his range so I can deal with the extras. Because the last thing I want to be is directly below Colossus, where I'm just going to get pummeled to death if I'm not careful, while there's 2 projectile spammers just surrounding me. That's something I don't want. So, after, like, probably, like, 10 minutes of running in circles, I finally get to kill the guy in purple, which hasn't happened yet, of course, because this takes forever. But yeah, no, there really isn't much more I can tell you strategy-wise. Just, if you're gonna do this, don't. Like, it's not a very fun challenge, to be real. And there's definitely, I think the rock toss is more fun, for sure. Oh, I mean, that's kind of a given, isn't it? But, yeah, no, rock toss is more fun if you really want to do a challenge that bad. Just do the rock toss one. Or play Dark Souls. Do a Dark Souls challenge. Those are very... To be real, the Dark Souls... I have a lot more fun with Dark Souls challenges than this, but I also have more fun with Dark Souls. Which, and then speaking of which, Dark Souls 3 is going to be the next one. Also, I kept rambling. Purple guy died. Here, I decided I'm just going to try to do damage to both of them, right? Because I felt like I could parry 2 of them. Guess what? I just ended up killing the boss there. I wasn't paying attention to his health bar. I was confused there. I wasn't paying attention to his health bar. I thought I was going to have to kill the other guy first, but I was able to kill him. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, maybe like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.